Hey, happy Super Bowl. It has arrived. It's here. I'm Spitface. I'm here with the classy and sassy host of this show, the First Lady of Sports Talk, Cheryl Smith. First Lady, you ready for this here Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready for the Super Bowl, and millions of people are ready for it, too, because you know what? The Super Bowl is the number one watch event every single year, the number one.
You know, Ed, it's interesting that it's the number one watched event, and not everybody likes football.
People watch it for different reasons.
So people be figuring out why they go watching this stuff. Now, but I'm ready. I think it's gonna be one of those edge on your seats. Either that or it's gonna be a beat down.
Well,
it's gonna be one way or the other. It's just gonna be all right, or it's gonna be
Well, I can tell you the halftime show is going to be very spectacular for a change.
Oh,
Can't go wrong with Mary J. Blige, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, with Kendrick Lamar, right? Can't go wrong with that.
Snoopy in some trouble.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that situation. They was talking for him not to be on the halftime show.
Yeah,
they canceled him out.
I put it like this. Now, I don't want somebody going all back in my past and finding some of the dumb stuff that I did. Like I said, what's that saying? But for the grace of God, you be thankful and stuff. But, boy, once you get certain profiles and now you're trying to revamp your image, it's going to come out. It's going to come out. All right, now check out the music this week on Shout Out. We are featuring performances from Nathan Basiuk. Will he find a shining star? Get the cold feel of the mute button. First Lady, I'm super ready. What you say?
Each week we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world. Not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdies known as the Cincinnati Bengals want to fly far, far away from the ghost of Bengals' Super Bowl past. Is Joe Cool the new Joe Montana? Joe has shown up big in big games. Will this complete the trifecta? Has Joe Cool supplanted Mahomes as the NFL darling with or without a Super Bowl ring? What does Joe Cool have that will make the difference in the Bengals winning their first Super Bowl? Marvelous Marvin Hagler, rest in peace. Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying? Well, the trifecta, I'm trying to figure out what is the trifecta, Spitface, because he only won the national championship one time.
Well, you did also. It wasn't so much a big game, but he did win that Heisman.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Okay, yes. How could we forget about the Heisman? So, yeah, that is the trifecta. Okay, all right. Yeah, but, Joe Cool is Joe Cool, and the question is, how cool is Joe? He's really cool. Not sure if he's Joe Montana. I really don't consider him to be Joe Montana. We can always compare him to Willie Joe Namath. Is it the Victory cigars, the Cartier frames? He wears some Cartier frames he came down with. And, of course, how can we forget about that diamond necklace he had, that JB9 chain? That was something special. He was looking quite cool. I guess what the young people say got his drip on. But his nicknames, sometimes he's known as Joe Burr, Joe Cool, Joe Shiesty, Joey Franchise. I mean, he's already got a whole bunch of different nicknames, so that definitely makes him cool. I mean, I don't remember Joe Montana having a nickname, but I remember Joe Namath had a nickname. They used to call him Joe Broadway Joe, right? They used to call him a whole bunch of different things. So what makes Joe Burrow cool is his overwhelming confidence in himself and the confidence his teammates have in him. Now, we can't put him, like I said, I can't put him in Joe Montana's category yet, but it was quite interesting. There was a story out, I forgot which, I actually forgot what media outlet had it, but supposedly the Bengals offensive line coach, Frank Pollock, says Burrow's aura is like Montana's. Basically, the other players believe in him, not really, I think it was more that they believe in Joe more so than Joe Burrow having Montana's skill set. Because I can't believe the coach, Frank Pollock, considered Joe Burrow to be Joe Montana. No, he ain't Joe Montana. Because Joe Montana won 4 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowl MVPs, and 2 NFL MVPs. So he certainly couldn't be talking about Joe Burrow and Joe Montana in that same breath. I think what he was trying to say is his presence. Montana had a way about himself, as his presence, and people listened to him, and his fellow teammates, they definitely engaged in what he was saying. So I guess that's what he's trying to say about Joe Burrow. But now when I compare Joe Burrow to Joe Willie Namath, right? Willie was his middle name. Burrow is flashy, but let's set one thing straight. He's not as flashy as Broadway Joe Namath. Broadway Joe Namath used to come out in those mink coats, and I mean, he was just all over the place with his style. He was trying to, you remember that was back in the 70s, so he was giving Clyde Frazier a run for his money when it came down to style. You remember now? And to me, nobody was cooler than Clyde Frazier. He was probably the most coolest athlete ever is Clyde. I mean, Clyde still wear them outrageous suits now. But anyway, Joe Namath, he wore some outrageous outfits. But Burrow's flashy in his own way. The thing is, their journey to me is more similar than his Montana, because both of them were 25 years old when they were at the, when they went to the Super Bowl. It was Namath's first Super Bowl, and it also is going to be Burrow's first Super Bowl. So that's a comparison. I compare him more to Broadway Joe than to Joe Montana. Now, I think Burrow has supplanted Mahomes as the NFL darling, and that's going to be regardless if he wins the Super Bowl or not. Burrow's personality has made him a very likable guy. Not to say Mahomes isn't it either. It's just that Burrow now is the next big thing, and Mahomes is old news. That's how life is in American pop culture. When you're in, you in. When you're out, you out. And right now, Mahomes is out and Burrows is in. So, they go through that. The end of the year, they always talk about who's in and who's out, and that's just how it is right now. Not to say that Burrows is a better quarterback than Mahomes, but, Mahomes is slipping and sliding this year. So that's the reason why Burrows is in. Now, the main reason why Joe Cool can make a difference in the Bengals winning is that he is so poised under pressure. I said it before, when he was sacked 9 times by the Titans, he didn't panic nor try to do too much. Like I said, he took the sacks like a man. Whereas if we remember in the conference finals, we saw Mahomes panic. We saw Mahomes creating a lot of errors. We saw Mahomes rushing things. We saw him just running around the back instead of taking that hit like a man. See, Mahomes didn't want to take that sack like a man. He ran around a couple of times before he got sacked. So, To me, unless the Bengals offensive line doesn't show up today for the Super Bowl, Joe will have to be extremely cool because he's going to be under a lot of duress. And you know what? The great thing about Burrows, too, he still has a great arm. So, I'm not going to say that he can't throw and it's all about him being poised and cool. No. The quarterback has skills. A lot of people didn't think he had skills when he was, they knew he was a good quarterback and he won the Heisman and everything, but did they think he was going to be on the level of Patrick Mahomes? I don't think people did, but he has clearly shown that he is on that level because I think if I remember some of the statistics was he has the most touchdown throws of 20 yards or longer. So he can air it out. That brother can throw the football. So so as far as I'm concerned, it's going to be about Joe and how he basically how he performs. The Bengals goes as he goes. So to me, that's how this big game is going to definitely play out. And Joe Burrow has done nothing but been spectacular when it comes to big games. Every big game that this man has played in, he has performed magnificent. He's been magnificent about it. He's been great. So why should we expect anything else? To be honest with you, he hasn't shown us where he has been horrible in big games. So, I want to continue to think that he's going to be great. But, he's coming up against probably the most pressure that he's going to feel in his NFL career thus far. And like I said, 9 times by the Titans defensive team. We'll see how it goes with this team. Because we talk about Von Miller. We talking about Aaron Darnold. This is going to be interesting, but I have a feeling Joe Cool's going to come out on top. Spitface, what do you think about this?
I'm looking at the Bengals, and the Bengals have had they've been in 2 Super Bowls, and given that I think it was like several years apart, they got beat by the 49ers twice. Now, who could get, what luck, that you go pull, okay, we lose to the 49ers once, and then down the road, we happen to go back, and we got to play them again and still lose. So, I do have, and those were some good Bengal teams. They really were. And in many ways, different eras, they may have been a better team than the Bengals team that's going there because they was protecting their quarterbacks, So, but Joe, the one thing is, I know, the conversation is that, is he the new Joe Montana? Is he, the one thing we ain't heard about him is that he's the heir apparent to Tom Brady. So thank you. So thank y'all, media world, for not bringing that up, that he's the next Tom Brady. I'd rather go with the Joe Montana. But who I really look at him as is Big Ben. Now, he got skills Big Ben ain't, wish he might have had, okay, as quote a rookie. But I look at him as Big Ben. That boy will stay in the pocket. And that arm is strong, and he'll either take the sack, he won't make the bad play. That's the thing. He ain't going to lose them. It's like, hey, if I got to take the sack, I'll take the sack. But I ain't going to give you the ball. I'm not going to do that. We're going to keep the ball. And if there's a shot where, I'm not going to try to force it in, I'll just, he makes the correct move and doesn't get upset that he didn't try to force something that wasn't there and cost them the ball. So, he cool like that, And when you're going to have the kind of pressure that defensive line going to put on him, he may be looking at getting sacked. Maybe not 9 times, but 4 or 5. And a whole bunch of hurries. But the thing with Joe Cool is his hurries look like they were designed. Now that's when you cool. Talking about pressure in the fire, the hurry looked like it was designed because he doesn't make the bad move. And but who I go he's like is that to me he's like Big Ben with some style. Big Ben with some style. Now, he has supplanted Mahomes. But Mahomes said Mahomes could be in those Subway commercials now. Yeah, we're gonna refresh you, So they refreshing Mahomes. But and that's how you go in pop culture. Also, it has been I'll just say other than an old white guy like Tom Brady, old white guy. Now, in the sport, he ain't really old, but as far as athletics, that's he done retired all of that. How many young white guys are out there styling and profiling? It ain't too many, Now, let's look at it. Name some, So, I have to kind of go, y'all got one. I hear y'all gonna rally behind them. Y'all got one, about time, because y'all been slacking so long, So, by the time y'all had a cool one, I think the last cool white boy, he really wasn't that cool, was Elvis Presley. I think I'm about to, I'm struggling here, there was one, Elvis, and that was back in my great-grandma day, so, it's hard to come up with who was cool, And I am exaggerating, so for the, my white fans out there, I'm just picking on y'all because I can. But Joe, he has the kind of men, he's the type of guy that people want to play for. You know how there's that kid, when you were growing up, whatever the game was, you wanted to be on his team. And that's how he relates to the players, where it's like, man, it's on me, dog. It's on me. Now, but not to the point where it's my fault. But hey, whatever go down, hey, I'm the man. It's on me. And players appreciate that, because then there ain't somebody calling them out as much as, hey man, hey, okay, I need to work on something so I can make sure that you run that route right. Okay, thank you. He ain't gonna put you on, so we gonna work on that. So, I had to give him a lot of credit, a lot of maturity, and so fast. And that is why, see, my homie has physical skills and presence for the game that, blow everybody out the water and stuff. And now he's kind of, it's like he's having his sophomore year, where it's like you do a whole bunch of great stuff, and then you kind of regress, start doing stuff that, I thought we had worked that all out. So now you don't went from Mahomes to Fran Tarkenton. Let me run, I run 300 yards. I got 300 yards all in the backfield, just running around. So right now, Super Bowl ring or not, Joe Cool is the NFL darling, and he's going to have that for a while. Because see, it looked like there was a chance that Baker Mayfield could have been the NFL darling, but we see how that turned out. It's Joe Cool, and per se that's all I'm saying.
Well, you know what, I am not going to let you disrespect white men like that, especially the white athletes, because there have been several cool white men, and just to name a few, Travis Kelce is really cool. He's very cool, very cool dresser. And, I mean, that's the only one I know in football. I can't think of anybody else in football, white. But in basketball, now, you know, we had some stylish basketball players. We got right now in Miami Heat, you got Tyler Hero. How can we forget about Jason Williams, White Chocolate? They used to call him White Chocolate. He was cool, was bad, brother. And Pistol Pete Maravich. You remember, he was very flashy. He, you know, flashy off the court too. So I mean, let's put some respect on some of these white athletes. And we know they can't jump, but some of them do have swagger.
You know.
Okay, now they not, you know, Joe Cool. Now they got, you know, Joe Cool is, you know, he's coming out with his own, you know, his own style and everything. So, you know, he gonna be. I know one thing, he gonna be puffing that cigar after the game today. All right, Spitface, over to you.
All right, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my peers and putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosion, overpowering, over the competition I'm towering. Wrecking shop when I drop these lyrics that make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare, you better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest that all get sliced and diced. Competition, paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out, huh? Mama said knock you out, huh? We are talking about the knockout punch the Rams expect to land on Joe Burrow and the Bengals. With a combination of Von Miller, Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, plus a shutdown cornerback, wreak havoc on the swagger of Joe Cool. The Matt Stafford to Cooper Kupp combination is lethal. And what about that other guy, OBJ? Will the Rams defense give out a licking and Joe Cool stops ticking? If Matthew Stafford gets the MVP, will he be the second coming of Mark Ripien? Is Matthew Stafford in with a win when it comes to the Hall of Fame? Leroy Satchel Page, Walter Buck Leonard, and my man James Cool Papa Bear are asking what you saying. First Lady, I'm looking at this game, and I'm looking at the Rams, and Rams got a mean defense. The Rams, you know, and folks, you know, like Von Miller, you know, that, you know, he done got into his groove, you know, like he playing like old Von Miller. Aaron Donald just playing like Aaron Donald, you know, just wreck. And you know, that front five is rough. And it's not just that they get to the quarterback, it's they stop other aspects of the game so that those cornerbacks, those people in the secondary, you know, they like, thank you, because you putting enough pressure on that line, whether you get to the quarterback or not, well, we can cover these receivers. And you know, definitely the edge in defense go to the Rams. And then the other thing is, First Lady, white boys may not be able to jump, but they sure can catch the football. when it comes to the big games and making it to the playoffs. You know, now OBJ is there, and I'm going. OBJ starting to look like he done found his groove, like he done, that he done got some juice back in his game, and he on fire. But Cooper, no, it's just like that guy that Tom Brady had to throw to with the Patriots. It wasn't a diva wide receiver. It was some bad white boy. So I got to get at, hey, y'all can catch the ball. Now, not saying there ain't some brothers out there that catch it, catch the ball, because they do. But, man, y'all the ones winning Super Bowl rings. So I'm going to give y'all that one. Now, Matt Stafford, see, I kind of root for Matt Stafford, and that's because he played on Detroit. So I got to get him. The man was a really a great quarterback for that team, and they have just been lousy. And that's not him. He couldn't carry that load. I don't care who you are. So, and I'm surprised he hadn't been gone. But he stayed with them, and he asked to get out. Said, "Look, and they said, hey, how many rebuilds you gonna put a quarterback through?" So I'm glad he got to show that. Yeah, I can be a good playoff quarterback who, whether Super Bowl win or not, I am a high caliber quarterback. That I was on a team that was just going nowhere fast. So, but I think I'm going to say that he needs a win to definitely get in. He needs a win to definitely get in. Without a win, given that he did win playoff games, it's probable, because Tony Romo ain't getting in. Cowboy fans probably upset, but he ain't getting in. But I do see a path for Matt, whether he wins or not, but it's a definite he get that Super Bowl win. First Lady, what you saying?
Well, let's face it. Joe Burrow was sacked 9 times by the Titans. You would expect the same situation with Miller, Donald, and the other lineman, Floyd. Plus, they had Jalen Ramsey, who's a top-notch, knockdown defensive cornerback on receivers. And, he's going to be on Jamar. I think his name is Jamar, right? Jamar Chase, like
yep.
White on rice. Okay? He's going to be on all over Jamar Chase. So for the Rams to win, it will depend on the line of scrimmage, because if they don't pressure Burrow and get enough pressure on Burrow, they're going to lose the game. I mean, they always, you hear offensive and defensive players, the big boys, they always say it's on the line of scrimmage. That's how games in the Super Bowl are win or lost. And we know last year the Kansas City Chiefs, they lost it at the line of scrimmage. We know that. So there's truth to that. But I think the game will be based upon how dominant the Rams defense will be compared to Burrow's ability to pass to Chase. If the Rams can give it out, it's going to be a licking. It's definitely give out that licking. It will definitely stop Joe Cool. He ain't going to be ticking the way he's been in the playoffs. But what's quite interesting to me is the fact that both quarterbacks rely so heavily on throwing to one receiver. We all know Stafford throws the ball to Cooper Kupp. That's his go-to guy, always is and always will be. And Burrow is Chase. So we'll see who's going to be able to get it to their guy. But the one thing the Rams have, they have OBJ. They got Odell Beckham Jr. And this is his moment. He has lived for this moment to prove he is more than that receiver that caught that spectacular one-handed catch years ago. We have to say, OBJ have lived off of that reputation for a long time. And he's definitely not that receiver that had issues with Baker Mayfield. Everybody was saying, how when he was injured, how the Baker Mayfield was playing better, Yeah, that was just 1 year. We know what happened to them this past year. So, I expect OBJ to have a great game, because I truly believe Cooper Kupp is going to be guarded so closely that they're going to try to shut him down. So that's going to leave OBJ available, because you can't shut both of them down, even though we know the Bengals did that. They did it against the Chiefs. They shut their top receivers down in the second half. So they have it within them to do it. So we'll see if that happens. Now, to me, if Stafford wins the MVP, I don't see him as a second coming of Mark Rippon. I mean, to me, their trajectory was quite different. Stafford spent all of his years in Detroit and couldn't win a playoff game in 3 times. Ripken went to 8 playoff games, and he won all of them. So Stafford lost his first 3 playoff games. So you can't really compare them to. I don't compare them to Stafford to Ripken. Now Ripken, obviously, maybe if you're looking at, it took him a while to finally win a Super Bowl. Maybe that's what you could say about Stafford. That's the only comparison that I can see. For me, the question will be, if Stafford wins the Super Bowl, can he still get into the Hall of Fame? Like you said, he has to at least win it. And to me, even if he wins, I don't really think he still can get into the Hall of Fame, because I still don't think of him as one of those Hall of Fame, having a Hall of Fame career, because he's never really been a top 3 or top 5 quarterback. I'm trying to think at any given time. I don't think Stafford was. And he didn't lead the Lions to a playoff win. To me, he was an above-average quarterback, but not a Hall of Fame one. There's a big difference. You have a lot of quarterbacks that are great, that are average, but are they Hall of Fame material? See, that's the whole key. You know, we talking about Hall of Famers. We're talking about people like Joe Montana, somebody like we already know he's going to be Peyton Manning. I mean, they had career years, longevity, the long stats. You know, I'm not even sure. I guess his stats may come to up, maybe Hall of Fame. I don't know. I really don't know if they are. I really didn't get a chance to look at his overall stats to see where he stands. But I just, when I think about the top greatest quarterbacks in NFL history, I don't even sniff Matt Stafford's name. That's just how I feel about it. So I don't know, Spitface. I don't think he can make it. But yeah, you're right. He definitely got to at least try to get a Super Bowl in order to make them think about he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. But I still don't think he's a Hall of Fame quarterback, Spitface.
All right. Well, First Lady, when you have the Detroit Lions hanging around your neck, it can drag you down. Unless you Barry Sanders. and he got out. And you said, you know what? I'm out of here.
Not only did he get out, Megatron got out too.
You're right. So you kind of go, man, he might have been a superstar if it,
Right, Megatron, he said,
I think that's the thing with Matt Stafford is, it really has to be that look of, like, between, for the team he had to deal with, sort of like, speaking of Manning, because I think Archie Manning is in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, so I think if we got an Archie Manning in, he got a shot. He got a shot. Well, First Lady, please take us to break.
Stay tuned. Coming up next, we have a performance from, and I hope I'm not butchering your name, Nathan Basiuk. How you pronounce this, Spitface?
Hey, he didn't tell me.
So we're going to guess at it. We're going to get your name right. Anyway, Nathan on the Shout Out Part 1.
On this Super Bowl Sunday, the music flows in from around the globe to get a shout-out from the panel. First Lady, I can't wait to hear the music from Nathan Basiuk.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout-out. If we don't like it, we hit the music. Today we are featuring music from Nathan Basiuk out of Haifa, Israel. Okay, we've been having a lot of different places that I can't pronounce today. All right, they say we sound like foreplay. Okay, now who is Foreplay? I've never heard of them. Have you heard of them before?
Foreplay is a jazz group.
Oh, it's a jazz group. Okay, I heard of Coldplay.
No, there's sport. There's but there's
all right. Okay,
foreplay.
Excuse me for my
foreplay is a jazz group. They've been around for forever. They've been around for forever.
Okay, all right. DJ, let's hear. Okay, all right. That was Nathan Basiuk. I mean, hey, I got to shout that out. Very nice. Very nice collaboration of a band, and his performance was spectacular. And the song, it was instrumental, but it was very well put together. And I enjoyed it. So, if you're a jazz lover, definitely got to check out Nathan Basiuk. So I'm shouting it out. Spitface, you hitting the mute button, or you getting in a shout-out?
Coming from a hip place, I think he was pretty cool. He must be hanging out with Joe Burrow. Yeah, I agree with you. I thought that was really a nice song, and it was just well put together, just flow. And I'm looking at the length of the song was like 5 minutes. So when was the last time you listened to a piece of jazz, of today's jazz? I won't say modern, today's jazz, for 5 minutes and enjoyed it through the end? So I might have to go with you, First Lady. Maybe this is kind of spectacular. So, but I'm definitely shouting it out.
Okay, all right. Okay, so we definitely going to hear from Nathan Basiuk, and for people that don't really know, he's a jazz pianist. So it's the piano that he's playing that we're hearing in that background. So, but obviously there was other instruments there, but that's his specialty. So we'll hear him on part 2 of Shout Out, but we're getting ready to hear from our favorite underwater friend. Is it time for Flip It?
All right, First Lady. And what's that, Flipper? Flipper say Happy Super Bowl, and Flipper saying that the Flipper is having a Super Bowl party, and he said that everybody has been vaccinated and got their booster shots. So Flipper and his crew are on the case. Now I have a feeling that they won't be having chicken wings. I just kind of had that feeling. It's time for Flip It, while hosts the pen appointed, then flip the script and defend the opposing view. The Nets traded away the bearded one, a.k.a. James Harden, to the 76ers. Does this move give them the edge to win the East and the NBA championship? We're going to defend. This is a great trade, but it does not give them the edge to win the East or the NBA championship. And, there is something about, the reason why the Nets brought on Harden, brought on the other guy, who don't want to be vaccinated, and, was that they were going to have the 3 superstars, because that's what all these championships, you got them 3 superstars, and, they command everything. Well, that didn't turn out so well. Okay, now the moves that they're making, were great really great moves, but there's still something about that chemistry that isn't there. And part of it is that no matter what deals they make, as long as the vaccination status of, quote, one of their superstars is the way it is, the chemistry will not be right. That is the fundamental thing that is going to keep them. Like even the talent they brought on, you look and you go, but they were already a formidable force. They were already. So okay, so now they're getting big man. I mean they made a good trade. And especially they got rid of Harden, but still, with that being out there unresolved, it's still a detriment at the level that it keeps them from having an edge to win the East or the NBA championship. First Lady, defend.
Well, it was definitely a great trade for the Nets, but I don't think it's going to give them that edge because right now they have currently lost 11 games in a row, which really shows you that Kyrie Irving cannot win by himself. He couldn't do it in Cleveland, couldn't do it in Boston. Now he's not doing it in Brooklyn because, like you said, Spitface, he only plays half the time because of the fact that he's not vaccinated. And unfortunately, right now, Kevin Durant is injured. So Kyrie Irving is not that superstar that can lead a team. Now, we don't know where Simmons is currently in his mental status. His mental, he had some mental issues. A lot of people said that it could, they thought he was lying about it. But look, he still hasn't joined the team yet. So there must be some truth to those mental issues. I mean, when you think about it, he probably does have mental issues because he can't shoot the ball and doesn't want to know how to learn how to shoot the ball. So to me, there's some mental issues there. There's something going on that this man doesn't want to get better to learn how to shoot. But the thing is, though, we don't know what type of shape he's in. Can he immediately come in and help the Nets? That remains to be seen. And to be honest with you, we don't even know if Kevin Durant will be back to his spectacular self before he was, he was playing at an MVP level before he was injured. So there's a lot of ifs with this team. Now, I still think they won the trade because we all know about James Harden. Has James Harden ever won a championship? James Harden has been with so many different people. The better one has been with Chris Paul. He couldn't even work with Chris Paul to get to the championship levels. But Chris Paul was able to do it when he was in Phoenix. Okay, so he couldn't work with Russell Westbrook. I mean, how many more people are you going to put with James Harden? Now, again, this is the first time he's going to be with a reliable, true big man, so we'll see how that works out. But anyway, getting back to the Nets, I just think right now this is not going to be the Nets' year. But this trade definitely would show that the fact that they won the trade, because by next season, it's going to be popping because, hey, when Ben Simmons gets in there, the Nets will definitely become an NBA championship next season.
All right. Well, we're going to flip the script and defend the opposing view. We're going to defend the Nets should be arrested for robbery with this trade deal. They stole the NBA championship. Now, everything is a roll of the dice when it comes to competitive sports. It is, because as they say, the difference in talent usually is, these are all pro players. They were already the best of the best. So you got the cream of the crop. So even if you're looking at players, you might go, that lousy player beat out a whole lot of other people to be there. But they literally, they got rid of Harden. They got rid of Harden. That in itself gives them a shot at the NBA championship. They got that monkey off their back. They don't have to, and even with Kyrie's issues, at least with Kyrie, he be tripping. So you just kind of factor it in, there's going to be a level of Kyrie tripping. But now you got Ben Simmons who don't want to shoot the ball, and you got players who, like, they fine with that. You know, man, clog up the middle, do your thing, go to the hoop. So now, because when we go up against the Bucks, we need somebody who can play with them, that big young team, and that's Ben Simmons. So it was a steal being able to get rid of James Harden and putting him on somebody else's team. That was, hey, and they ain't got to pay her. First Lady, defend.
Well, as Stephen A. Smith says, this could be the worst trade in Daryl Morey's career. Why? I'll tell you why. Because you don't send Ben Simmons to your rival team that's in the same division, no less. I mean, it's one thing to be in the conference. He's in the same division as you are. I mean, you send him out west where he can't be a reason to beat you or prevent you from attaining a championship. So that is a mistake on Daryl Morey's part. But that's what Ben Simmons brings. Ben Simmons is an all-star, and more importantly, he's a defensive-minded guard. He can guard several positions, guard the wings. It's really what the Nets needed. They needed a quarterback point guard, and that's who Ben Simmons is. He provides pace for this team. He can speed up their opportunities. Also, Ben doesn't need to be that great shooter on the Nets because they have Irving and Durant. And also, as part of the trade, they were able to get Steph Curry. He's a sharp shooter. Not as sharp as his brother is, but he's still Steph Curry. Still carries that name, and he knows how to shoot the ball. So when you have Simmons, who's masterfully guiding them down, he's the quarterback. So he's going to be able to guide them and put them in situations where they can have easy buckets. And the thing about Simmons, you don't have to worry about the ball sticking in his hands like it did with Harden. I mean, Harden had very high usage ratings. He had to have the ball in his hand at every time. But the one thing about Ben, he does need the ball, but his needing the ball is to initiate the offense. But he is a willing passer. That's the big difference. He will always pass the ball. It doesn't matter that he can't shoot. So, I mean, he can do layups, and he's all right with that, but he doesn't have to shoot from the outside. He gets them into a situation where he can help them, assist them to make them better players. That's the type of player Ben Simmons will be. And to be honest with you, if he can get on the court now and be 80% of himself, I'm going to tell you, the Nets can win the championship right now. I mean, even though, like I said, they lost 11 games, but doesn't matter. As long as you get into the play-in and try to get into playoffs, I'm quite sure if they have Durant, Irving, and Simmons, I don't think too many teams want to play them. So I think when it comes to a series, regardless of what position they are, regardless if they have home court advantage, because to be honest with you, the Brooklyn arena is not home court advantage because most of the other teams' fans come to Brooklyn. So it's really no home court advantage. So I'm going to tell you something. Look, it's on. The Ben Simmons, he can definitely help them get that championship like right now.
All right. You've heard the defense, and they got rid of James Harden. First Lady, please take us to break.
Stay tuned. Up next, the funnies and our favorite underwater friend on Flip It Part 2.
Bye-bye, Harden. Bye-bye.
Welcome back. You are still listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. It's time for the funnies. Spitface, over to you.
All right. Now, First Lady, I have been around. I've been in the juke joints. I've been in the hole in the walls. I've been in places that I probably shouldn't have been in. And, and I done seen some things going on that maybe shouldn't have been going on. But this one had me scratching my head. Ice fishing leads to prostitution. Apparently, the mayor, Craig Schubert of Hudson, Ohio, and up in Ohio, they get cold, so they be knowing about ice fishing, says ice fishing leads to prostitution. Now, Schubert, who likened the prompts to child pornography, called for all 5 of the city schools board members to resign. Now, I grew up in Chicago, and to the north of us was Wisconsin. And do you know what people do in Wisconsin and in northern Illinois? They go ice fishing. Now, if you have ever seen ice fishing, they cut a hole in the ice. They put a hook and a string, in the water. They have a little chair that they sit on, and they freeze their ass off. Now, I'm going to put it like this. Maybe there are some who, after spending the day having their balls frozen, may want to get a little something to warm up. I might not be able to fault them on that one. Like, hey, you just spent a whole day doing this thing. Well, maybe you need to get your freaky freak on, But I don't get that that's like an inherent part of ice fishing. Mm-hmm. That I got to make sure I warn the kids. Now, you go ice fishing, what's going to happen to you? Yeah, because I'm going to tell you, you're going to freeze your butt off. That's what's going to happen to you. And like any fishing, and you might catch a fish. Now, when I even Flipper laughing at that one. All right. It must be time for our favorite underwater friend. It's time for Flip It. First lady, over to you.
Which coach?
There's
a backstory behind that whole thing. But anyway, we don't got time for that. Which coach has a better chance of adding another Super Bowl ring to their collection in the next 3 years? Mike Tomlin or Bill Belichick? Panel defend. Belichick has his quarterback, and Mike has to find one. Looks like Bill get the ring sooner. Spitface defend.
Hey, when you got Mad Mac, if Big Ben had retired a year earlier, it would be pretty much neck and neck. But given the fact that that's not how it went down, and somehow or another, Mad Mac landed in the Patriots' lap, that just gives him the edge. Mad Mac can play in this league, and they have him on his rookie contract, and because he fell in the draft, everything is just favorable for the Patriots and their rebuild. Now, Mike got a little bit tougher row to hoe. Because now, the quarterback said he had, I think that Rudolph the Reindeer, somebody on, at QB, I don't get none of them boys is competitive enough to be a, quote, franchise quarterback. Now, one good thing about Tomlin is that, they look at the whole team, not just that one position. So they're not going to flounder around while we trying to find a quarterback. No, the team is going to be solid, so that whenever that quarterback show up, that they'll be in a better position than I'll say about 90% of the teams in the league. But that won't be good enough for him to edge out Bill, because Bill going to get another ring within these next 3 years. That's what I'm saying, First Lady.
Okay. It's just not going to be enough, right? Bill is getting another ring. Well, Bill Belichick has a much better chance to win a Super Bowl over Mike Tomlin because, yes, Bill has a up-and-coming quarterback who reminds you a little bit of Tom Brady that will get much better than he was this year. Remember, he was a rookie, and he was a little overwhelmed in his first playoff, but he has the skills that's going to translate to winning. And we know Belichick is the best coach in the NFL. And let's say this. He is not going to let Tom Brady show him up with a Super Bowl. So you know Bill wants another ring. I mean, he wants to get to the Super Bowl and win another Super Bowl. And he's really going to coach this team because, again, another year under Mac Jones' belt, another year in the league is going to be such a big help for Belichick to win that Super Bowl because, hey, they got to the playoff. You remember before, they didn't even get to the playoff. So that's what Mac Jones can do for Belichick. And now the fact that he has another year, I look for things to be much, much better. Now, Tomlin, he has to battle Joe Cool. He has to play him twice, too, in the AFC North. So his job is going to be tougher. And, hey, he got to look for that special quarterback. So it's not easy trying to find a special quarterback to get you to where you need to go. And we all know that. It's a lot to do with, you have a better chance if you have a franchise quarterback. And unfortunately, Tomlin doesn't have that at this point in time. So that's why Belichick, to me, will get that ring a lot sooner because all he has to do is continue to groom Mac Jones, and they will get to the Super Bowl. 3 years, they can do it. All right, we got to flip this script and panel defend. The AFC North is anybody's division. Mike will have a smoother ride getting the Steelers to the top, while the Patriots must play the Bills twice a year. Spitface defend.
Yeah, when I look at the AFC North is an interesting division because they used to call the NFC North the black and blue division. But now it's the AFC North because they be battling. It's no telling who's now the AFC North. Do not get them confused with the NFC East. Okay, they don't be the AFC North. They battle for playoff spots, and all their teams have winning records. See, the AFC East, they battle for playoff spots, and maybe one or two teams has a winning record. Different quality. Now, with Big Ben, his fading out, and the Pittsburgh in a rebuild, Tomlin kept that team competitive in the AFC North. And whether it's the Ravens are now the big boys, or maybe it's the Bengals who are now the big boys, those teams be in the mix, the thick of it. The Bengals can just join the party, so to speak. But even Cleveland, with Baker Mayfield, they hop up and be competitive. So it's anybody's ride. But in the AFC East, the way Buffalo played the Chiefs, Belichick is going to have his hands full playing them twice a year, even with Mac Jones having steady improvement. And in the next it's going to take 3 years for the Patriots to regain the kind of structure where they can where they're neck and neck with the Patriots or with Buffalo and be able to unseat them as their division winners. So it's going to take a while because Buffalo is built. Them boys is built. And they specifically were built to beat the Patriots and beat the Chiefs. So, it's going to take a bit. Whereas in the AFC North, really super competitive. And if Tomlin is a quarterback away and everything else is in gear, that quarterback will land in Pittsburgh, Aaron Rodgers. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, the AFC, like you said, the AFC North is a tough division. I mean, Tomlin will have to go through the Bengals and the Ravens. Both teams have franchise quarterbacks. Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson, they got to play both of them twice a year. So that's already 4 wins that they got to try to win. But, like you said, Spitface, Tomlin has been able to hold things together with this team. He's never had a losing record, even with mediocre quarterbacks. Now, you have to say, Big Ben was very mediocre pedestrian this year, had been pedestrian for several years. Let's face it, Big Ben was way past his time. And unfortunately, the reason why he was past his time, because their alternatives were not impressive. Mason Rudolph, Dwayne Haskins. I mean, the only thing we heard about Dwayne Haskins was his girlfriend punched him in the eye. I mean, what did he even play for the Pirates, for the Steelers this year? I don't remember, to be honest with you. I don't think he even threw one pass. But anyway, so, it's a situation, though, that Tomlin, if he can get Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, one of those quarterbacks, any available quarterback, I might even say Jimmy G would give him a better shot than what Ben has done. I mean, that's sad when you think about it, but it's something that all he needs is a quarterback. If he can get a quarterback, let me tell you, the Steelers would be right where they were in those championship heydays, because they always are going to have the offense, and they got a really nice young core of receivers out there. And how can we forget about Najee Harris? He's an excellent running back. They've always built their teams consistently the same way. The running game, spectacular wide receivers, but they need the arm. That's all they need. The defense is better than what it's been in a while. So, hey, they just a quarterback away. Just a quarterback away. And like you said, the Patriots, even though they have their quarterback, but they had some issues with their defense. There's been some issues because we already know that the Buffalo Bills, they ramshocked them. They went. I mean, they beat them. They beat them like it was an old rug. In the playoffs, it was horrible. Horrible. They got a beat down. So we know that Josh Allen, man, he's on the come up, and he's not letting go. He is going to be really determined to win a Super Bowl. So, I mean, it's going to be tough for Belichick in that division, to be honest with you. I mean, it's going to be tough. I mean, it's going to be so competitive in the AFC. In the entire AFC, obviously I think the AFC is a much better division conference than the NFC, because it's just so many young, good quarterbacks in that division. So we'll have to see how this plays out. But I think if he can get that quarterback, I think Tomlin will definitely get that championship before Belichick. All right, Spitface, please take us to break.
Well, on the other side of the break, we have another performance from Nathan Basiuk on Shout Out Part 2. Hey, please stay tuned.
You are listening to Bras, Panties and Sports. It's time for Shout Out Part 2, the picks and the finale. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout-out from the crew. Spitface, over to you.
Now, we have another performance from Nathan Basiuk, and it's explained to me. Now, we had come to me. Now somebody got to explain to me. Uh-oh. So it sounds like somebody, you got to explain to me. Let's hear explain to me. right, that was explained to me. First Lady, what's the verdict?
Oh, I'm going to shout it out. I mean, and I like that. We had a little fast pace to it, and it actually was interesting how it was going one way as far as the smoothness of the song. Then all of a sudden, they changed gear and went to like a different tune in the middle of the song. But
I like at the beginning they had a little guitar riff going.
Yeah, I'll shout it out. I mean, they he's known also for his arrangements, so I can tell that these are songs that are out there that he just rearranges it into his own, with his own arrangement, and it's nice. I enjoyed both tracks, so definitely shouting it out.
All right, okay, all right. Foreplay is going. All right. You okay, dude? All right. Now, that is the end of Shout Out. If you like what you heard from Nathan Basiuk, check him out on Old Grumpy Radio Network and MusicSubmit.com. If you'd like to be heard or have any comments, please send your emails and tracks to content@oldgrumpyradio.com. First Lady, over to you.
Who will win the NFL crown, and who's going to wear the crown? All right, we went over the totals from last week, and I'll just go over them where we stand now. The grand totals as of today, Super Bowl day. All right, I'm bringing up the rear with 12 million points. Dizzy Mac is second with 17.04 million points, and Spitface is leading the pack with 20.19 million points. So, boy, oh boy, the producers, they really did it with all of these different props. I can tell you that much. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes. All right, so let's get to the big one, the big game, the Rams versus the Bengals. 10 million points for the win, minus 10 million for the loss. All right, Spitface, I am going with, I'm going to go with Joe Cool. I tell you, he has not lost a big game. I just don't see him doing it now. He is on a roll. This is the year of the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going with the Bengals. Spitface, actually, Dizzy Mac will have to get his results later. He hasn't provided them as of yet. I think he's still mulling over all these different props we got to go through today. All right, Spitface, who are you choosing, the Rams or the Bengals?
As they say, defense wins Super Bowls. I'm going with them there Rams.
Okay, you're going with the Rams. All right, let's get to the over and under, and boy, oh boy, we got a lot of over and unders. All right, and these overs and unders, because I'm not going to repeat it, each of them are 2 million with the win, minus 2 million with the loss. All right, Rams, over, under 180 rushing yards. Spitface.
I'm going with the under.
Okay, I'm going with the under also because they are more of a passing team. All right, Bengals, over and under 160 rushing yards. Ooh, I'm on the fence with this one because they do rush for over 100 yards, but, man, 160 rushing yards is a lot. But I have a feeling that they are going to be rushing the ball more than they are because of the defensive line. Oh, I don't know. You know what? Joe Mixon, can you rush? He usually rushes. I think he rushed for like 88-something yards before. All right, I'm going to go with the over. I'm not. It's a tough one, but I'm going to do the over. All right, Spitface.
Under.
You going with the under? All right, I don't blame you. But the best way to beat a defensive line is to run screens and to rush the ball. So we're going under. All right, Rams, over, under, 2 defensive interceptions. Spitface.
I'm going with the under.
You're going with the under. So the question is, will Jalen Ramsey be that spoil maker in the quarterback? Can he? I mean, again the question becomes: is Joe Cool going to take it like a man and take them sacks, or is he going to throw the ball and throw interceptions? I'm going to go with under. I want to believe in Joe Cool. All right, Bengals over and under 1 defensive interception. All right. Woo-hoo. Matt Staff. I'm going to say over. Spitface?
I'm going with the under.
You're going with the under, so you don't think Matt Staff is going to throw 2 interceptions. All right, and let's see, Rams, over under 3 field goals. So that means they got to have 4 field goals. I'm going to go with under. Spitface?
I'm going with the under.
You all under there, aren't you? Bengals, over and under 2 field goals. Spitface?
Over.
Yeah, you going with the over. I see. Well, they got a darn good field goal kicker, the rookie. So will he have 3 field goals? Oh, I know he's gonna. There's not gonna be 1, so I can't. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the over. But I actually think that's gonna be a null. That's gonna be at 2. All right, Rams, over under 4 defensive sacks. Okay, I am going with, guess what? Woo! Can they get 5 sacks on Joe Burrow? No, I'm going with the under. I think if you remember, I don't think he was sacked 1 time against the Chiefs, because I believe in that offensive line. I think they're going to protect Joe Cool. All right, Spitface, over under 4 defensive sacks.
Under.
Oh, you don't believe so either, huh? Good. I'm shocked at you. Didn't you just say defense win?
They don't have to sack you. Hurry, count.
Yeah, but they need to sack Joe Burrow. That's where they need to win. I said if they don't win on that scrimmage line, they might as well forget it. All right.
They'll sack him when needed.
Okay. Bengals, over under 2 defensive sacks. I'm going to say over because Matt Stafford is not that agile back there. Spitface?
Under.
Under. All right. Matt Stafford, over under 2 passing touchdowns. Spitface?
Over.
You got over 2. Let's see. I think he's only going to have 2, and he'll run a couple of them. I'm going to say under. Matt Stafford, over under 1 rushing touchdown. Let's see. I'm going to say under. Spitface?
I'm going under.
Joe Cool, over under 3 passing touchdowns. Woo. Well, let's look at this. Didn't Tom Brady have about 3 touchdowns? But can Joe Crow? I'm gonna say under because he's not gonna get 4. That's a lot. Spitface?
Under.
Yeah, 4 is too many. Joe Cool, over under 1 rushing touchdown. I'm going to say, to be honest, I think he'll get 1, but I'm going to say under. I don't see him with 2. Spitface?
Under.
Under. That's how you sound. All right. Joe Cool, over under 1 fumble. Can he fumble the ball? Ooh. All right, actually, Spitface, you're first.
Over.
Oh, you see him over. Okay, he fumbled the ball, did he? I'm going to say under. That would make him cool. Matthew Stafford over one fumble. I'm going to say definitely over.
Under.
Well, we see where this is going. You know, you rooting for the Rams, I'm rooting for the Bengals. That's what killed me the last time, rooting for them Chiefs. All right, Bengals over under. Okay, Bengals over under one offensive fumble. Ooh, I'm gonna say under. I don't remember them having a fumble. Spit face.
Over.
Over. All right, Rams. Now look at you got the Rams. The producers got the Rams over under two offensive fumbles. Yeah, well, what's his name had two fumbles by himself. What's his name? Akers, right? Cam Akers. He had two fumbles alone. But I don't. It's a nerve-wracking type of game. What Stephen A. say when it gets stressed tight, he said, my butts get tight or whatever he said. He had a big sayings about that. Two offensive fumbles. Can they get three? All right, I'm going to say over. Spit face? Under. Right? Under, right? Akers had two by himself, you know. Total sacks, both teams. Over, under 5. Spit face.
I'm going to go with the over.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm going to go with the over on that, too. I mean, I'm definitely going with the over on that. All right. Largest lead by any team. Over, under 15 points. Largest lead by either team. Over, under 15 points. Oh, I'm going to say over. Spit face?
This is a toughie. I'm going to go under.
Mm-hmm. Shortest touchdown by either team, 2.5 yards. Over, under 2.5 yards. Shortest touchdown by either team, over, under 2.5 yards. Spit face, you're first.
Somebody going to get to the 1 yard line. Somebody going to be at the 1 and they punch it in. I'm going with the under.
Over, under. Yeah, that's a tough one. Shortest touchdown either team. Over, under 2.5 yards. I'm gonna go under 2. Yeah, because they get a interference in the end zone. That automatically goes to what? The 2 yard line, or don't that automatically?
They put it on. That's automatically on the 1. But just because both teams will run the ball, you can see them at the 1.
Yeah. Now, I'm thinking more of a pass interference in the end zone. That's what I'm thinking more of. First score. Okay. So now we have first score. These are $5 million with the win. Losing would be negative $5 million. Okay. First score. First score of the game: field goal or touchdown. I'm going with. Wow, what am I going with? As a matter of fact, I think they had this. I'm going to go with a field goal. Spit face?
Touchdown.
Mm-hmm. First score of the game: receiver or back? All right, spit face.
Man, you got Jamar and you got Cooper. And let's not forget OBJ. He out there too. A receiver or a back? I'm going to go with a back.
I'm going to go with a receiver. First score by a receiver. Jamar or Cooper? Well, I'm definitely going with Jamar. Spit face?
I'm rolling with Cooper.
You're rolling with Cooper Cup. All right. Now, first team, 10 or more points. Rams or Bengals? You know, these were actual prop bets for gambling. These are actually prop bets. All right. Spit face.
I'm going with them there Rams.
With them there Rams. Well, I'm going to go with them there Bengals. Even though, you know what? Oh, I can't remember the Bengals is a second. Well, no, they need to come out big in the. You know, they're more of a second half team, but that's why I just realized I put them going to score first, and I just realized they were the second half team. But that's okay. I'm gonna leave it as is because I think they're going to change it up. All right, betting tables, maximum 5 million points, win or lose, all optional and open. So that means we can bet on every single one of these. Correct?
Correct.
All right, correct. The team that wins the coin toss loses the game. Yes or no? Man, that's a tough one. I'm going to say no, because the one who usually wins the coin toss, they defer. And they get the ball first, and I'm going to say no. Spit face?
I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to put $1 million on that.
Oh, I forgot to put the one who wins the coin toss loses the game. You're going to say yes and $1 million. I'm going to say no and $5 million. Okay. Game will go to overtime. Spit face?
No, and I'll put 5 on that.
Okay, I'm going to say no. I can't remember. When was the last time the game went to overtime? A Super Bowl game. I don't remember that. So I'm going to say no and put $5 million on that. Okay. Coin toss. Heads or tails? All right, so it's up to me. It's my turn. Head. I'm going to say tails. 5 million. Spit face?
I'm going heads, 5 mil.
Okay. A quarterback will have a reception, yes or no? Ooh, spit face?
I'm going yes and 2 mil.
Who has that in their arsenal? Maybe I'm going to say no. No and 5 mil. Woo-wee. This is it. I think the years that we've been doing this, that's the most ever props we've had for the Super Bowl. That's it. So we'll see how we do. We'll get Dizzy Max, and we'll go from there. We'll see if Dizzy Max will be the one wearing that crown. Oh, no, excuse me, Spitface, because you're ahead of us. What am I talking about? You're the one who's ahead of us right now. Can you hold on to the crown? All right, Spitface, what is your top story to watch this week?
My top story to watch this week is the MVP of the Super Bowl. Will it be Joe Cool or will it be Matthew Stafford?
Joe Cool or Matthew Stafford? Why can't it be Sean Darnold? Why could it be the who knows?
It could, but that would be the top story. But those Joe Cool fans won't let it ride.
Okay, the Joe Cool fans won't let it ride. Okay, well, my top story this week, I mentioned this young lady as part of the women's empowerment message, the young 15-year Camilla Valaveva, the Russian Olympic star who did quadruple in the Olympics. Well, it seems that she has illegally been taking heart drug medication, doping. There's a big story about that. They have not suspended her yet. Her medal right now is currently on hold. I don't know if they made a decision about that, but that's the big news in the Olympics right now, and everything is really being overshadowed by this young woman. And you have to note that she didn't take that medication on her own. She's 15 years old. Now, usually when athletes dope and everything, we know they taking that on their own. They do it because they're older. This young lady is 15 years old. She's been exploited. That's what's happened. And they gave her that medication. And right now, the fact that she won the gold, it probably more likely should be taken away. And it's a shame because I don't think she probably needed it, to be honest with you. So that's, to me, the big story of the day. All right, join us and other partners, join us and our partners, the Veteran Women's Enterprise Center, as we honor our veteran women entrepreneurs. Please visit honorourveteranwomen.com. honorourveteranwomen.com. Check out our current and previous episodes at braspantiesandsports.com, braspantiesandsports.com, and our Facebook page, BPS Sports. This is Cheryl Smith, the First Lady of Sports Talk and Spitface. You have been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. Please have a safe and enjoy the Super Bowl.
Go Rams!
Go big!